So, Captain Marvel is the 21st film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Boden and Fleck, and it's our last stop on the tour before Avengers Endgame next month, which I'm just a little bit excited for. Just a little bit. Captain Marvel is Carol Danvers, here played by Brie Larson, a woman with no memory of her past, trapped between two warring worlds and this one. I'm gonna keep this review spoiler free, so nothing about the plot, but in order to accurately discuss how I feel about this movie, I'm gonna have to go into themes a fair bit, so be warned. Also, just a heads up, I'm not going to go into discussing the whole controversy surrounding Brie and the PR for this movie, because while I think it is a fucking mess and you'll need to find something more important to be mad about, I mean, holy shit, get over it. It shouldn't have any effect on how you feel about the movie. It just should not impact it at all. Okay, so here's the thing. Early on in the movie, a character says to Carol, "I just want you to be the best version of yourself," or something like that, kind of like Lady Bird. And while I think that this movie is an easy watch with some really great elements, my god, is it not the best version of itself at all. Now that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I had a good time, particularly in the second half, and for a lot of people, having a good time is all that matters, so there you go. I don't think that any part of this movie didn't work either. I think that it all works. It's just that I get the feeling that there was so much that this movie could do, so much that this movie could explore, and it seemed to do almost none of it. The whole movie is just kind of bizarrely put together, and that was kind of apparent to me from the start. I mean, we don't really get much of a chance to get to know Carol at all early on. We don't know what matters to her, we don't know what she cares about, we don't know what she wants. You know, the basics of building a character. Sure, she's got major amnesia, but that's never really tied into her character in a way that it's some kind of hurdle that she needs to overcome in order to grow. It's just a case of Carol can't remember who she is. And that makes the entire plot really impersonal for the whole first half of the movie until things kind of come back down to ground level. And I think that some people are going to have a hard time connecting to both Carol and the story until the second half of the movie. I know that I did. None of this is particularly Brie Larson's fault either, because she has the charisma and energy in spades, and she fills a personality space in the Avengers roster that does feel like it's entirely her own, but I just don't think she's given much to do in her own movie. If you were to ask me what Carol's arc in this movie is, or what she learns by the end of it, I couldn't really say, and that for me at least is absolutely the last thing I want to walk away from a superhero movie thinking. It's hard to get behind a hero who doesn't know who they are or what they want to be, no matter how much of an ass-kicking maverick they are. Samuel L. Jackson as an incredibly de-aged Nick Fury. I mean, that tech is incredible, it looks amazing, but he's kind of in the same position as Carol in this movie because they have this kind of buddy cop dynamic for a while, but neither provides something to the other that they don't already have, and they don't really learn from each other, so hey, at least we have Ben Mendelsohn and Lashana Lynch to ground this thing, and I can't really say much about either, but Ben Mendelsohn really stole the show for me. He is so deliciously weird, and I love it. Now, creatively, this is one of those movies that's more functional than flashy, and that works fine, with occasionally exciting flourishes, but otherwise, the action is pretty tame, and the set pieces kind of just, well, they happen. I gotta say, bringing on Ben Davis for his fourth MCU movie kind of says everything you need to know about how risky this movie is in execution. And by that I mean, not at all. And of course, it doesn't have to be, but it does feel to me like nothing in this production was pushed to excel at all. There's an endless amount of missed opportunities, from things as small as potential running gags, something that I think the movie probably needed more of, to huge things like returning to ideas that seem like they were meant to be thematic setups, but then just weren't. I don't know. Look, I think that there's a lot to be said about how Captain Marvel could have been a richer, fuller, more dynamic movie, but I think the one that we've got will do just fine, even if I wish it had kind of shot a little bit higher and further. So, those are my thoughts on Captain Marvel. I've been sick for the last few days, so this review is a little bit late, but I'm kind of conscious enough now to actually make videos again, so that's good. Have you seen this movie yet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like this video? Of course you did. You can subscribe to Breaking Banter down there somewhere to see more reviews like this, as well as my other channel, Loverboy Media, down there somewhere. You can follow me on Twitter at Loverboy Media and on Instagram at Breaking Banter. And of course, if you want to support our Patreon, you can do that. Thank you so much to anyone who is doing that already. You guys are amazing. Everyone who watches these videos is amazing. And I will see you all in the next one.